flying this July 4th weekend is proving to be a big holiday headache. Thousands of flight cancellations and delays are ruining plans across the country. Delays topped 20,359, and that was just today, while cancellations hit 2,281. More than 7,100 flights into and out of across the U.S. were delayed, and another 500 plus canceled yesterday. And get this. One airline is handing out major paydays to anyone willing to get off an overbooked flight. Delta reportedly offered passengers $10 grand to get off an overbooked flight from Michigan to Minnesota. Okay, guys, I have to tell you, normally I fly American Airlines, but I am switching to Delta because if they offer me $10,000, I am off of that flight. Right?
Well, I agree, but I'll tell you right now, we got to get more facts as to that. The big problem is this. Why are there so many cancellations?
Well, that's the question.
What's going on? I'll tell you what bothers me. You know, when the Biden administration had those COVID vaccine mandates, a lot of people quit. A lot of people lost their jobs.
Exactly.
A lot of people lost their jobs. And so they created this problem. They don't talk about this, but the vaccine mandate, which forced a lot of people in the airline industry to lose their jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I fly back and forth across the country quite a bit. I've never experienced so many flight delays, cancellations. It's like 9 out of every 10 flights have a problem. And generally, it is that they can't get enough crew together. So, Charlie, why is that? Is what Leo's saying correct? Did COVID-19 wreak havoc with all of this?
Well, I think without a doubt, that's a big part of it. And, of course, it's a reminder that, you know, having political opinions is all fun and games until it comes down to actually running a massive transportation system. And when government bureaucrats start monkeying with that, you wind up with big problems. And then people really do feel it. I know that I was coming up here to New York from Southern Virginia, and the idea of spending the night at LaGuardia Airport, I was like, no way. I drove my truck from my home to D.C. and then got the train, took the train from there, because I figured if the train, you know, I could like get a bus or rent a car and get back to D.C. and get to...
Because gas prices are so low right now. I mean...
Yeah, and that's the big... It's like, you know things are really bad when people would rather drive at $6 a gallon gasoline...
Excuse me, California, $7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then take their chances on an airplane.
All right, so the Pete Buttigieg is in the hot seat here. He recently sat down for an interview with Lester Holt from NBC. Let's hear what he had to say.
Is the July 4th holiday a recipe for disaster, given the issues with the system right now?
There are going to be challenges, but we're watching it closely, and we're talking to the airlines every day about their responsibility to make sure that they can accommodate any issues that weather or other curveballs might throw at them. A lot of people, including me, are expecting to get to loved ones over this holiday weekend, and we need a system that is resilient enough to get them there, plus good customer service when an issue does come up.
Yeah, good customer service. All right, that's what he said a few days ago. Just today, Pete Buttigieg tweeted this. He said, airlines offer miles as compensation for some travel issues, and you can often negotiate on this. That's between you and the airline, but you are entitled to cash refunds for canceled flights. That's a requirement that we will continue to enforce. Tommy, you're shaking your head.
What makes me so angry here is that this administration is putting this all on the airlines. Yes, the airlines have an industry problem. Absolutely they do. Do they need to offer better customer service? Absolutely they do. But as Leo was saying earlier, government created this problem. Not only with the vaccine mandates. Remember, back flying around the holiday time, there was all the pilots that weren't showing up, they protesting the vaccine. They told us because of weather, when there was no weather to be seen in a lot of these places. So not only did you have the vaccine mandate that Leo talked about, but you also have government incentivized laziness. Either these people chose not to come to work because of the vaccine mandate, or they didn't care about the vaccine mandate, but they were really enjoying the extended unemployment and the stimulus checks, so they got used to staying at home eating bonbons, and they didn't want to go to work.
Can I piggyback on one other thing what my partner just said? Pete Buttigieg, he's the absentee Secretary of Transportation. He took 2 months off, and this guy's a wordsmith. He talks a lot. He says nothing. He says absolutely nothing. I don't know what came out of his mouth other than he sounded good to himself.
All right. Well, at least one of the CEOs of the major airlines is speaking out. We do have a statement from the Delta CEO. He says this: "If you've encountered delays and cancellations recently, I apologize. We've spent years establishing Delta Airlines as the industry leader in reliability, and though the majority of our flights continue to operate on time, this level of disruption and uncertainty is unacceptable." Well, it sure is. I mean, I think people are they're really pulling their hair out.
Yeah, and anytime you're getting lectured to by the federal government about customer service, it probably means that you've got a problem with customer service, but also the government is not going to solve your government service. Just go to the post office and you'll see what customer service is like. It's not the best.
Right, but, what about the offer of $10,000 from Delta? Would you guys take that, Leo?
I'll take it cash only, please.
Right.
Cash only.
Voucher to get to another canceled flight. But the thing about it is, what Pete Buttigieg was essentially saying there is, just go haggle with the airlines. Maybe they'll give you a little more. See what you can barter for at this point. Well, let's not forget, some people are happy with the refund. Some people are missing milestones with their friends and their families. And so just a cash refund or even $10,000, you can't get those moments back. People are missing graduations, they're missing weddings, they're missing funerals. That comes at a higher cost than $10,000 or a flight credit or a free drink on Southwest. Sorry, not going to cut it.
Yeah, and people are really, though, they are looking around and wondering who to blame. I think they're wondering, is it gas prices? Is it the airlines? What is it? And actually, the bigger question is, when does it end?
It's not going to end, if I may, it's not going to end because the Biden administration has doubled down on this ridiculous refusal to open up more gas because people who are not taking the planes, like Charlie did, are suffering at the gas pump. And people are now being punished. And the government, the Biden administration said, we don't care. We don't care if you're hurting. We don't care if you got to make these sacrifices because we want you off your fuel and go to electric, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. And I happen to blame the Biden administration for 90% of the problems that we're facing regarding this travel. But even if you don't, the bottom line is, it's like, Mayor Pete, famously Mayor Pete. The best mayors are pothole mayors who take care of the potholes. And it's a truism in politics. It goes all the way to the top in the White House. If you have a problem like this and you're not taking care of the problem, you're going to pay a price.
Yes.
Voters, and it doesn't matter how much of it is your fault. And again, I blame 90% of it on the Biden administration, but it doesn't matter. Come election time, voters are only going to blame one set of people, and it's going to be the people in charge.
Do you think so, though? Do you think that people that are getting their flights canceled and delayed, the ones that voted Democrat and reliably vote Democrat, do you think that they're seeing the connection, well, this didn't happen under the Trump administration, or do you think that they are placing the blame on the airlines? Because I think there's a lot of people who are just going to look at Delta and American and Southwest and say, this is their problem, I'm still going to vote Democrat.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. How do people know to blame the administration?
I do, and the reason I think that they will pay a price for it is because this is not a separate issue. It's all entwined with gas prices and inflation,
crime, and border problem,
and when all of it's entwined like that, that's why we talk about these waves.
And the poll numbers also indicate that a great number of Democrats are dissatisfied with this administration, and that's why you're hearing all these rumors and all this talk behind the Biden administration attacking the Biden administration. He got no one to go with that gasoline tax. No one within his own party. Right. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, when you start eating into people's holiday plans and, airlines and gas prices, people really they get upset and they look around and they just look at who am I going to point the finger at, right?
I agree.
All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.